Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. Today, I got a very, very special guest, and I want her to say it in her own words. Can you go ahead and announce to the audience who you are and where you're calling from?
My name is Nina Thiara, and I live in Vancouver, British Columbia.
Cool. And can you tell me about your past leading up into your present, whatever you want to talk about?
Okay, well, I'm going to go right into my story and then we'll go from there.
Mhm.
It's 1989, and I'm at my parents' place, and there's a knock at the door. My father opens the door with a big smile on his face as the boy and his entire family walk into our home to meet me. Me, 21, I'm at the kitchen table making everyone chai tea like a good Indian girl. As
I'm ready
everyone
to
sits at our dining room table to discuss if the boy is a suitable match for me. He has been scouted out from a family member, and my father was eager to give me away. I sat there across the table and made small talk with the stranger that I should consider marrying. I don't remember much of that day, but that was the start of the process of my arranged marriage.
I
With
am so sorry to hear that.
Flash forward 6 months later, we got married. Within 5 years, we have children. And that is when my symptoms of depression, anxiety, stomach issues, exhaustion began to be my new normal. I remember being at home for an entire year, having to drag myself out of bed to bring my children to school, to come back home after forcing myself to eat something, and then back to bed until it was time to pick my boys up. I was off for work over a year because my body was shutting down. I had no capacity. My husband would look at me, Nina, it's all in your head. Just pull yourself together. I started going to a naturopath, doing counseling and everything I could to feel better, as I didn't know what was wrong with me. After a year or so, I started to feel better, assert my boundaries in my relationship with my husband. And I'd started working out more and having more hobbies. I could tell he didn't like the changes I was making. And after a while, we stopped sleeping in the same bed. I married the wrong man, and I didn't want to be married anymore. Now, as I look back, my symptoms from overwhelm, people pleasing, and putting myself last, and I had little to no connection with who I really was or what I wanted until I did the inner work that changed everything. And now, today, I help women stop over functioning in their relationships, help them reconnect so they can start living life on their terms.
Tell me, what is the strategy to that? Every woman want to know. I want to know. I found a little of it, but I want to hear your, based on the way you speak, I want to hear it.
My strategy. So I was very overwhelmed and just hit rock bottom in 2006. And prior to that, I was looking for healing. And 2006 was a pivotal moment in my life where I connected with a health practitioner and I went on this healing journey. A healing journey, and I was told it's a long journey. But there's certain things of the journey I was told it's a long journey. You will become symptom free. You'll live the life you want. Your children will become like you, and you'll find your soul purpose. Well, at the time, I was just consumed with symptoms. I just wanted to heal. That's all I wanted, right? The other things were like in my subconscious. The conscious at that point was driving because I wanted to heal. So I went on this journey started in 2006, I remember, in her office, and I had to visit this lady every 4 weeks. So basically, what it was, looking at my symptoms, and then those symptoms was helping me process my emotions, and then looking at my unconscious core programming, where did it all come from? And the third was, after I was doing the first and the second, was creating effective, healthy boundaries as I move forward in life. So that took the whole span of healing because there was so much that I had suppressed in my body on a subconscious level, which probably went back to utero. Now looking back, just the way my upbringing was. Not that my family was bad. No, they were the most caring parents. They were just came that they from ancestral and generational trauma. That's what they knew, and that's what my body ended up taking on as a child. So that's 2006 to 2025 was basically what took me, which was at least 18-year journey to heal my symptoms, because there was so much. We don't realize, and that was the amazing part of my work, because the medical system looks at each part of your body as separate, but we're connected, like everything, like everything, we're connected to every part. If your arm hurts, it's connected to your shoulder, and the shoulder is connected to your head. While the system, and I was there too, like you have arm hurts, okay, they send you to a different specialist, right? So the story goes on and on. So when I did this healing, she says, we're going to look at your body as a whole. So she looked at the whole as a body as a whole, and connecting me back to the person I would have been if I didn't have that conditioning or programming as a child. So basically, at one point in my journey, I said, "What am I doing here?" She says, "I'm helping you become the real you." And still, that I felt so dumbfounded. But as I did my healing, my path became clear. The symptoms started releasing. I started feeling better. So all those things that she told me, you just become symptom free, your children become like you live the life you wanted, you find your soul purpose. I started connecting the dots, that everything I was going through, all the symptoms of overwhelm I had, started as a child. I took on programming, conditioning that wasn't mine, that came from culture, religion, back to ancestral lineage. And once I started healing and processing emotions, the healing just started happening. So my mentor was just my guide, and to support me through that. It wasn't easy because I had suppressed, like when we're normally, as a normal person who doesn't have the overwhelm, right? And we process those emotions. So let's say, for instance, someone passes away. We cry it out. We feel it. We sit with it. Well, that wasn't taught to me. We were told, no, you can't cry. You can't sit with it, because that's all my family knew, right? It's a cultural thing. It goes on, not in my culture. It's around the world. It's generally, we're not, women and men as well. We're suppressed emotionally, and then we stuff everything into our bones, our tissues, our muscles. Like when she's explained that to me, I'm like, what are you talking about? But now that I connect to it, I can really feel that we stuff our emotions deep into our body. So that was my healing, was learning how to, first of all, what was emotion, then learning to process that emotion, then connecting to the unconscious patterns underneath it. Where did it come from? Where did it first originate? And that was done through journalizing and sitting with it. Sitting with, like, we're such a busy society, go, 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 go. We're always busy. So we're not taught to sit with ourselves. We're always, watching TV, social media, texting our friends, shopping, drinking, whatever it may look like for someone. Okay. So it looked different for me. I was shopping a lot. I was working out a lot. So those are a couple of things I did. And so then after I, processed my emotions, looked at the unconscious patterns, I started to slowly have healthy and effective boundaries. So my journey took quite a long time because there was so much to process. Not everyone's journey looks like this. This was just mine.
Well said, well said. And knowing that you took your emotions and learned how to reflect on your emotions and process it, and probably even stop negative emotions from occurring by checking them and taking a break. How did you, like, you wrote them down, like you said, you wrote them down. You said to yourself, maybe today wasn't a good day. And did you ever, like, reverse them, where you said, instead of today not being a good day, how I'm going to make the rest of today a good day? I'm going to do XYZ in your journal. How did you use positive thought? Because, and then this is an additional question. Tell me about when you first started noticing that the person you were married to was literally gaslighting you. Like, obviously, there had to be a problem, and it's like he molded you into this objective, like, person that was depressed. He should have been supporting you, but he wasn't, and somehow you managed to find your way. Tell me about when you the day you found your way. the day you were relieved or you second guessed, in the day that you started noticing the
Mhm.
signs of abuse.
Okay. So I also want to clarify to Kimberly, there was no abuse, okay? And no one molded me. The molding came from childhood. I just didn't know how to feel my emotions and process them. So there was no abuse. I'm sure they were being who they were. My ex family or any of those
True.
people, they were not bad people.
I,
I was
I can
molded.
understand that.
I
I
had a
definitely
miscarriage.
do.
Yeah, I was. It was a childhood molding. I was not a bad person, but I took all this program so deep. I'm also empathic, I'm highly intuitive and sensitive as a child. So I took that on, right?
Mhm.
And so there's no molding done. So the pivotal moment was 2006 when I hit rock bottom and I started doing the work and, more awareness came. It was actually and then I had my first healing crisis, which was true. So everything that I had stuffed came to the surface because
Mhm.
it's got to go everywhere. So we live in a society where everything's masked, right? So don't feel it, eat it away, gym it away, social media it away. This is what we do. And I did that too. So we shop it away, drink it away. So we never get a chance to feel. So when I started doing the work in 2006, I started feeling. And then we came, I think when my first healing crisis was around, it was actually before my healing crisis, 2009. I somehow came to the awareness. I don't know exactly 100% moment, but I remember saying to my mentor, I married the wrong man. And she said, well, let's keep going. You only worked with me for 2 years. There's so much else to uncover. So I went along. And then I had my first healing crisis in 2010. And when I say my first healing crisis, all that, first of all, we had no idea what was wrong with me. Okay. We didn't know where the overwhelm was coming from. Okay. Because and then when it came down to 2010 with the healing crisis. And what a healing crisis is all that stuff that the emotions, um, all the symptoms, and we're all an energetic body, they had to come out somewhere, right? So the healing crisis, all that stuff I had stuffed into my body, even though I was talking about it and working through it with my mentors, had to come out. It had to release. It can't stay in the body, right? So it came out through anxiety, depression. My stomach was off, right? So everything that I hadn't felt from probably because my IBS, my stomach issue started when I was very young, probably 8 or 9. I remember going to the doctor for those issues. So I kept busyness, right? As you're younger, your body's able to handle a lot more. So when I had that healing crisis, everything, it's like a volcano just erupted. And one day I'm feeling fine. And the other day I'm like, oh my God, what's wrong? I'm trying to figure out what's wrong. So through her support, we find out that all those symptoms were coming out. I was having a healing crisis. And with her support, she goes, you will heal, but I don't know when. Okay. So she goes, just keep coming back to me, we'll keep doing the work. So every month I went back to her and she goes, if you can work with your doctor as well, things support you through other medication or other healing, go see a psychiatrist. She didn't say, don't go to your doctor. No, she encouraged it. She worked alongside my doctors. So we tried other stuff, didn't work. Okay. Actually, no, sorry, did work. So an antidepressant did work in 2010. That healing crisis lasted about a year. Came out of it, and that's when I felt good. I actually felt good. I had more energy and everything. And then we separated in 2012. And even at that time, I was still running from the subconscious mind. I hadn't truly learned to feel my emotions. And then I had another healing crisis in 2016 after a really, really, really powerful retreat I went to in Bali. I had that. And that again, antidepressants again to the rescue. I still wasn't feeling. I went through that healing crisis. Like I was still doing the work with my mentors, but it was so powerful. Like the work she did alongside me healing, feeling, and programming and having effective boundaries, I wasn't getting the gist of it, the journalizing, sitting with my emotions and all that. I still wasn't getting it. So we went on. And then my last healing crisis came in COVID time when everything went quiet. I left my job. I also worked in healthcare. I left my job, 20-year job, because I was done. I was done. So I left that, everything went quiet. My children were older. One was getting married and slowly moving out, and the other was busy with themselves. I had to sit with everything. And that's where I collapsed for 2 years. And that was my final healing crisis. I collapsed for 2 years. I was literally in bed for 2 years. I couldn't get up. I had doctor's support. I had her support. I had a lot of support. But that was when I really got the gist of sitting with my emotions and feeling. And I actually connected all that work I'd done from 2006, mid 2025. I think I really felt what it was like. All the stuff she talked about, journalizing and sitting with my emotions, even was 5 minutes and feeling everything. Now I got it around I healed around 2024. I was going back to work, but I really got the gist of it and really wakened up to who I really was. It was mid 2025.
What was the
Everything connected.
when you in 2020 when you spent 2 years in bed, do you remember the day you said like you drove or you took yourself somewhere or whatever? What was the story that last day? Can you remember what you did of change?
What changed?
Well, I know you explained to me what changed, but I want to know the day that you said this is about to change. What was your memory? Because I have many memories of um and our situations are different. I have like mental health issues and I
Mhm.
had like depressive episodes.
Mhm.
So it's like, I remember each occurrence the day I, decided that I wanted to change what I did that day. And I was wondering when was your change of epiphany? What was you visualizing that day? If you can remember. If you can't, then my next question would be like one thing you done been through some stuff. Number one, I can't just go right into a question. That is a serious story. Man, how, yeah. So answer the first question, and I'll answer more. I'll ask more questions as we go along.
So really, there wasn't, because the healing was done over a span of 18 years. So I was having aha moments. But my
Mhm.
biggest aha moment was, I would say that epiphany was when I connected the dots to everything. I really all of a sudden, I wouldn't say I woke up one day, but everything is like, it was like mind, body, and connection, like mind, body, and soul just connected. So that was my, people call it a spiritual awakening. So I basically awakened at the soul level in mid 2025. So that was the work all along. It was a spiritual journey, but it started off as symptoms. But that's what my journey was, actually waking up to the person the universe had created in the first place.
How has your spiritual journey got you spiritually connected even more to your spiritual well-being?
Oh, I love that question. I get, and seriously, I kind of get tingles when people talk about stuff like this. Um, I realized through my birth, I was having a lot of synchronicities, like things would show up, like I could write a book on synchronicities. Like my most powerful one was, I remember, was being stuck in the snow once. And that was around 2016, 17, just before or after my second healing crisis. And I was stuck in the snow and I couldn't get out. And this guy pulls up behind me and he says to me, "Your lucky day." And I'm like, well, okay, great, you're cute, but what's my lucky day, right? So he says, "I'm a tank puller in the army." And I'm like, huh?
Okay, tell me more.
That
I'm
was
intrigued.
that. So he pulled me out, and I'm like, okay, great, a tank puller in the army. Okay, pull me out. But I've had so many synchronicities happen over the last 18 years. I truly believe that there's something higher above us. But first, we need to connect to ourselves. We really need to feel who we are, the emotions, the patterns, and then having those boundaries, because boundaries aren't selfish, they're self-love for you and for the other persons. Because I was told all my life a boundary are bad, people can do whatever they want to you. Well, no, that's not right. But again, my programming was so deep from cultural sense, I wasn't allowed to speak up. Good girls don't do that. So that being said, we're more than this body. Like there's so much to us. Like people are like I'm in awe of myself. Like I have so much because I just had something happen very recently over a connection I was nurturing for 2 years. And oh my God, I learned so much from this person. Like 2 years, and this actually happened over the weekend. And people talk about surrender or what surrender is. You may have heard about. Are you familiar with Coop Laxton's work at all?
Tell me, we got 9 minutes.
Okay, so Coop Claxton, I went to his journey in 2016, and he's written a book called Magic of Surrender as well. So I can really that was my I wanted to walk out of his retreat in 2016 because I didn't like what he's doing because he was trying to open you up, make you do things like do a speech. If you were the president or you had a leadership role, do a speech. And I'm like, I'm not doing this. I'm walking out. And he's like, wait, door's open, Nina. Go ahead. I'm like, no, your bodyguards are out there. He goes, no, you can go. But I stayed. I was meant to stay. So yeah, so he's written a book called Magic of Surrender. And that happened to me with this person that I was connecting with over 2 years. So my aha moment came just over the weekend. I was like, I thought I was connecting the dots even more, journalizing. And I was like, that's really something. And what I learned was that this person came to mirror parts of myself to heal. And it's funny because we would disconnect, we come back, and I'm like, what is this, right? What's going on? Either show up fully or don't show up at all. So what I learned was this person helped me open up my heart. That was amazing, as painful it was. Helped me see parts of myself I was denying. I was feeling I'm not good enough, I'm not tall enough, all whatever it was for me. I was denying, and this I wasn't smart enough still after all that work I was doing, right? This person mirrored it back to me, and I was in just awe. And I had no idea this person had come into my life to help me heal those parts. So relationships are a mirror. So I would say that everything that happened in my life, people are mirroring things to me. Even when I was living from my unconscious programming, it was being mirrored back to me. I just wasn't seeing it. I was conscious enough. And now, like this mirror, this friend, this person that came to my life 2 years ago was mirroring to me all along. I still have parts to heal. So that healing came through, I don't know where this friendship or whatever it is going to go, but that healing, oh my God, that was divine. Like, so going back to like, we're more than this body. There's so much more to us that people don't know. And when we become attached to mind, body, and soul, we start believing in there's something higher. Like, this breath that we take is something higher. Like we wouldn't be able to function without it. And it's amazing. And that fear, because I lived in fear state all of my life, that fear, that you're not living in fear state anymore. You're living as a real you. Sure, you got to have boundaries. You got to protect yourself. You're not going to walk through a fire and stuff, right? Because you're fearless. But that fear state, living with like not in fear anymore, is just a beautiful way to live. Like it's just amazing. And you're not attached to anything. And that's what surrender is, that you still care about that person. You still care about everything that's happening to you. But that surrender moment, you're not attached to that person or that thing anymore. You love them from far away. You send them love all the time. They came into your life for a reason, and they could still stay a part of your life. We don't know. But they come and give us our gifts. They help us heal, and then they leave, and then someone else shows up. So that's the beauty of the work I did and where I am today. And now I support women to first help them overcome their overfunction. Where is it coming from? And the 3 critical steps that I teach is helping them process their emotions, and then going deeper into their unconscious core programming or patterns. And then once we heal those 2, we can start looking at effective and healthy boundaries.
Wow, that is a lot for me to retain. And FYI, usually I'll cut someone off and ask a question because a question, but 100 questions just came to mind. I mean, like, dang, like you're very thorough, and I'm very intrigued about that. Like, what is the last question? What is the negative? How do you overcome negative spiritual thinking? Someone who starts, you have a scale. You meet someone, and someone, either you want to be around someone that pushes the scale up. Once that scale starts tipping down, how do you sit up there and shut it down so your mind, body, and spirit isn't compromised?
Okay. So what I've noticed now as I'm coaching or being normal, because there's all walks of people out there, right? So what I've learned is, since I actually question that myself. So because I've cleared my emotional stuff, my trauma, and healed those parts of myself, going outside and talking to other people, I don't get triggered. Like, I'm able to stay in who I am. I'm
Yeah.
compassionate and caring. I see their struggles, but because I've healed myself, I have more capacity. I have a deep container and I can hold that. I'm still evolving. Like, I just had this
Mhm.
story come, this person
Mhm.
mirror still unhealed parts. So I'm
Mhm.
still healing, but that the gist of the healing, where I have to process emotion, that trauma, everything else just kind of is easier.
Mhm.
So I'm able to function. Yes, I have a sensitive nervous system, but now
Mhm.
I've cleared so much up. And now that I vibrate at a higher frequency, I'm not better than everyone. And we're all on a journey. We're all one under this universe, black, white, yellow, green, I don't care. Who says that? He makes me laugh every time. So it doesn't matter like who you are. We're all one, and I have a lot of compassion for it, right? So if someone shows up in my life, they're not like they're testing my boundaries. It happens often. I'm able to either put in a boundary, and sometimes those relationships just fall off. And that's okay too. And that will happen every time we up level. So as I got into business, as I progressed, relationships, some of them just silently just left. Some of them tested me and I had to hold boundaries. Some of them I parted with. And that's the beauty of life. And I know when we haven't done this kind of work, we think, well, no, everyone's supposed to stay in our life. No, we wouldn't be energetically able to hold everyone our lives. Some people have stayed. Some people are still on my Facebook feed. That's great. We still connect. But as we grow, the people that come into our lives are also growing.
Well said. It sounds to me like you done developed a gift at a higher frequency, like you said. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining my show. And I hate to say this, but how can the people reach you?
I hate to say it. Okay. How can they reach me? They can reach me over Instagram under Nina Tiara. And they can also reach me over Facebook under Nina Tiara. I'm just in the works of developing all my social media and everything right now, my website. So right now, that's where you can reach me and shoot me a message. And then I offer a 30-minute complimentary clarity session to see if we're a good fit to work together.
Thank you so much, Nina. Stay on the line for a second. Thank you guys so much for joining my show. Take care, be safe, and I'll see you guys another time. Bye.